Hello Drive Radio fans, Richard Rush here today with my dad, John Rush, behind the camera. This is the review of the 2016 Subaru Forester. This is the 2.0 XT Touring trim level edition, however you want to call it. There's a lot of different trim packages. We're not going to get into every single feature that's available on this vehicle today. Just know that there's a lot of different customizable options. This vehicle price will range from starting at $22,395 all the way up to what this is, a top trim level of about $36,250. And again, your pricing is going to vary by your state, by your region, what options you do add on to that onto this car. But again, this is a small crossover SUV. Whatever that means to you, this is going to compete with cars such as the Mazda CX-5, the Ford Escape, the Toyota RAV4, those cars. So when you're thinking about that, or when you're looking at this review, that's what we're comparing the cars to. So let's just jump right into it. We'll get around to the front of it. They haven't done a whole lot of styling changes, especially for those of you that are familiar with Subaru. They haven't changed a lot of things over the years, and they really haven't changed anything for 2016. The major changes are actually on the interior with the infotainment system as some of the major additions. They've added a let me make sure I have this right, a 6.2-inch touchscreen to the 2.5i trim. And all of the other trims get you a 7-inch version with more enhanced features, which is what this version has on this vehicle. We do apologize about the dirt. It's been snowy and rainy here in Colorado for the past week, and so we're just getting out of that. We have a little bit of good weather. We wanted to get this review in. Some other features. What does this have underneath the hood? That 2.0 XT means this has a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, whereas on the other models you can get a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, not turbocharged. Where does that turbocharged come in? Well, if you just want the extra power, or especially up here at the high altitude that we have here in Denver, it really works well. I'm not sure you would need all that extra horsepower, which again, this is going to have 250 horsepower compared to, actually I don't even want to give you the other number because I think that may be wrong. I believe it's about 170 horsepower, 175. But again, this really works well. And actually, let's just jump right into it, Dad. I'm going to have the key fob. We'll get into the back of it, and we'll open it up. So I'm just going to hold the button down. You'll hear the beeps, and oh, it's going to open right up. A great handy feature, and again, for a car at $36,000, you would expect it to have it right there. I'm going to raise my glasses up. A lot of cubic feet here in the back trunk area. You can put both seats down with this lever right here. We'll actually show that. So if you pull this down, it actually, I'm not sure if you saw that, but it actually shot that seat down, which is really nice. So you don't have to run around, and we can actually pull this one down. You'll see it with the seat belt. And that seat is all the way back for a 6'4" person, so you would have to make sure these seats are a little bit far forward, but you can see how easy that does go down. Some quick facts about this back area. Without the panoramic sunroof, which this does have it, you're at 34.4 cubic feet of room back here, 74.7 with the seats folded down. With the pano sunroof, because you have to have a little bit more clearance, you're at 31.5 here in the back and 68.5 with the seats folded, which is incredible, nearly class leading. And in fact, if you don't have the panoramic sunroof, it is class leading. In fact, beating some of those in the market, such as the Honda CR-V, you're actually leading. So Subaru, kudos for that. You have a nice little button up here, really fantastic. With that, Dad, we'll actually just kind of jump around here, just kind of keep the video rolling. Jump into this second row. I'll fold this back up real quick, and we'll slide in. So again, you can see this seat is all the way back. Literally, this is for a 6'4", 6'5" individual. Plenty of room. This is all the way back. I don't have a ton of room, but I'm still not touching the seat in front of me, which is a nice feature. You can see this is set for a 5'9", 5'10" individual in the driver's seat. And if I was sitting over here, I would have more than enough legroom. I would have easily probably 6-7 inches of legroom in the back seat. Really nice. One other thing, you are slightly elevated for these back seats, or this rear seat. Nice feature in our opinion. Nice leather-like materials as you come along the door. Again, very nice soft touch materials. Great storage compartments over here. One thing I will comment, pro or con depending on who you are, no vents, no power ports back here. You do have a cup holder in the middle right here. Two of those right here. Sorry, we kind of keep coming in and out of the camera. Want to make sure we do show you all of the features. But again, no vents, no covers on that side of things. So with that being said, let's hop to the front seat. All right, fans, we're here for the front seat portion. Again, we kind of showed you the seats. We'll show you them a little bit closer up here. Nice, soft, leather-like material. They are heated seats. Again, this is pretty close to the top of the line Forester that you're going to get in terms of options. Great apportionments along the door there. I like that kind of brushed aluminum-looking plastic that you have there. Really fancy. Gives it a very nice look and a nice feel on this vehicle as you kind of come into the interior. No soft touch up here, but just a nice rugged feel to it, which is what you would expect from a Subaru. Again, the 7-inch screen. This does have the Subaru Starlink system. For those of you that are familiar with Subaru and or Toyota, this is a system that they are very closely intertwined and work really, really well. When we get into the driving portion, we'll show you more of what this second kind of information display allows you to see. Steering wheel controls, this does have the S-Drive modes on it, which has kind of the S-Sharp and then the S versus Intelligent. Allows you kind of 3 different modes to control from. It does give you this 2.0 XT trim level, does give you the off-road capabilities of the X mode, which just gives you more traction in the mud. In terms of the rest of this, some nice deep cup holders right here, a center console. There are 2 USBs in auxiliary, plus another power port in there. There's also a power port up front, along with more storage. This, again, the steering wheel controls are very intuitive. Does have keyless entry and ignition, which we'll talk a little bit more about some of those standard features in the drive. One more thing before I do forget, Dad. The panoramic sunroof is right here, so you push it back, open up. I'm sure that messed up the lighting. I apologize about that. Doesn't go all the way back, but does go pretty far back, and a pretty cool feature, in our opinion, for the money. So with that being said, we'll actually kind of stop the video. We'll hop in for a quick drive, then we'll give you our opinion of the 2016 Subaru Forester. All right, fans, we're going to go for a quick drive here. Before we do, wanted to clarify one thing that I said in the opening, and that is the horsepower. So this is the 2.0 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, has about 250 horsepower. If you get the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, no turbocharger on it though, you're going to drop in horsepower. Don't quote me on this. I believe it's about 170, 175 horsepower for that engine. So with the turbocharged engine, a little bit smaller of an engine, but you get more horsepower. So with that, let's go for a quick drive. All right, fans, we're here for the driving portion, and yes, we are actually driving. We'll get up here in just a second, turn off, and we'll go through a little bit more of the interior features. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the performance. As I mentioned before, 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This only comes in this model with a CVT transmission. One thing I will note, Subaru has done such an excellent job with the CVT transmission, you hardly even notice it. You really, in fact, don't notice that this car comes equipped with that. You would think that it's just your standard 6-speed auto, especially you do have some paddle shifters in here, which make it really fun to drive, especially when you get into the S-Sharp and the S modes. There is a 6-speed manual option available for some other trim levels. For this specific one, against the 2.0 XT Touring, the CVT is the only trim package available. Real quick, as we get driving and get up here to our stopping point, this does come equipped with the EyeSight technology. That's, again, specific to Subaru. What does that give you? I'll read it here real quick. Lane departure warning, forward collision warning, forward collision mitigation with automatic braking. It tells you if there's a car in front of you, and in fact it actually tells you shouldn't be doing this, but if you're looking down at your phone or something at a stoplight and a car is actually pulled out in front, or not pulled out in front of you, but has left the front of your vehicle, so essentially you're sitting at a stoplight waiting for someone to go and you can go yourself, it will actually tell you that. It pops up and says vehicle in front has moved. So, and again, a nice feature that Subaru has done. One other thing that's an option on here is the navigation system, which makes it really easy to use on the nice 7-inch. Actually, we'll go right here. It's on this nice 7-inch screen versus the I believe it's the 6.2-inch screen on some of the other models. Again, great features. You do have dual zone climate control in here, a tune knob, which we're big fans of for those of you that have watched our reviews in the past, physical volume knob as well, all of your other touch knobs, and with that, I'll actually kind of pull over here. We'll leave it zoomed in here in just a second, and we'll show you what the backup camera looks like. So you go, does not offer, sorry again, we apologize about the fog, no dynamic grid lines, does show you where your center is though, does show you where you're at red or green or yellow, depending on where you're at with the vehicles. While we're zoomed in, this is what we're going to call the information display, and I'm going to quickly toggle through some of these different things. So it has your AC up here, or not your AC, your climate information over here. This is the rest of your driving information. So your average miles per gallon for the trip, or for again your that trip A or B, gallons, miles to empty. This is kind of your basic screen, your clock. Obviously, there's different settings. One of our favorites, a Subaru staple. The turbo screen shows you what your PSI is. Really fun, honestly, to use and operate as you are driving around town. There's a lot of different other screens. This is the four-wheel drive. Again, Subaru is known for their legendary four-wheel drive, which is a huge selling point. More miles per gallon information, more miles per gallon, and as you can see, with being able to average right around 26, 27 miles per gallon, depending on who's driving it. I don't doubt that that number would be higher if my dad was the only one driving it. With me driving it, it dropped it down a little bit, but we really have been up there, the 27, 28 miles per gallon range, especially on the highway, and the turbocharged engine worked really, really well. So what else? I don't think I'm missing anything except for our opinion. We actually had my new neighbor just stopped by and actually asked me the other day what I thought of this car and who would we recommend it for. Anyone who's looking to have maybe a family of 4, family of 5, potentially you could fit a small child or smaller individual into the middle seat in the back. Fun tool around car, a lot of room, a very fun car to drive, especially here in Colorado. The turbocharged engine works really, really well, has a lot of cargo room. The off-road technology that Subaru employs will allow you to get anywhere at any point in time. For the most part, 99% of the time you'll be able to do that. Just overall a great car. What are some things that we don't like? I would love it if there was a CarPlay Android Auto option for the navigation system, something I wish that they would incorporate into the dealing. I would love a 6-speed manual for this turbocharged engine. I think that would be really fun, but again, that's more of a personal preference thing than anything else. This car competes really well in its class, especially when you compare it to its competition at the same trim level and at the same features, and that's what we encourage you guys to do. Some of you are going to say, oh wow, you're paying $36,000 for a Forester? Well, yes, but think of everything that you get on it, from the safety technology, to the turbocharged engine, to the fuel economy, to the navigation system, the dual climate control, the heated seats, the panoramic sunroof. All of these different options are fantastic. As we always say, get out and drive these cars, drive multiple cars, and whatever you decide to purchase, especially if it's the Subaru Forester, head to your local dealer and tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.